Why the UFC is basically a cartel, MMA explain.
The UFC underpays fighters, especially starting contracts on 10,000 to show, 10,000 to win. But have you ever really asked yourself, why? Maybe they just don't have enough money. For example, at UFC 306, the worst floor seat cost was $12,000. One seat. $12,000. That means one chair was worth more than a fighter who showed up, fought, and lost. So why is this happening? One short, one long. The short answer, they don't need to pay more. The long answer, let's break it down. In the 2000s, MMA wasn't just the UFC. There was real competition like Pride in Japan, Strikeforce in the US, WEC, or Elite XC. If you were a fighter back then, you had options. And because you had options, the UFC had to pay more. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't a monopoly. But instead of fighting competition, they did what billionaires always do. They bought the competition. Pride bought and shut down. Strikeforce bought and absorbed. WEC gone. Elite XC collapsed, and the UFC picked up the pieces. One by one, the options disappeared, and when the dust settled, only Bellator was left standing. At first, Bellator was a solid competitor. They picked up whatever the UFC didn't want anymore, like Rampage Jackson and Chael Sonnen. They had few solid names like Are You Not Entertained? Patricio Pitbull, Michael Venom Page, Douglas Lima, Shlemenko, and others. Bellator wasn't the
I don't know any of these companies he's naming or really any of that story background, so this is all new information to me.
UFC, but it was real. It kept some pressure on the system. Until it didn't. Over time, Bellator fell apart. Bad business, bad matchmaking, bad leadership. And while Bellator crumbled, the UFC kept rising. The 2010s were the years of McGregor. Massive fights, massive pay-per-views. By the mid-2010s, the UFC wasn't just the biggest promotion. It was the fight game. Everything else, just leftovers. Once the competition was gone, everything changed. The UFC didn't have to fight for talent anymore. They owned the talent. If you were a fighter, you had two choices: sign with the UFC or fade into obscurity. Bellator tried to compete for a while, but it never reached the same level. And now, Bellator is gone too, bought by the PFL, another so-called option off the table. The UFC became the gatekeeper to fame, to money, to legacy, and when you control everything, you control the prices too. Now, yes, if you're a big name, you're probably getting paid. Adesanya, John Jones, or Paddy Pimblett, you're bringing eyeballs, you're moving numbers, you're valuable. And for those guys, the UFC cuts bigger checks, as they should. But for the rest, for the guys trying to break through, the starting pay is the same garbage it's been for over a decade. 10 and 10, since at least 2010. And the $50,000 bonus, same as it was back in the Brock Lesnar days. Meanwhile, the UFC's business exploded. The pay-per-view prices went up, the gate numbers tripled, and Dana White can't stop talking about how he's breaking all the gate records.
The gate was 11.5 million. UFC now holds the number 1, 2, and 3 highest gate record of all time at the Kaseya Center.
The UFC is making 10 times what they were in 2010. But fighters at the bottom, they're stuck at 10 and 10. Maybe you can live with the fact that the UFC is a business first. But the one thing that shouldn't slip through the cracks is the starting contract. 10 plus 10 is disgusting. It's criminal. Let's do the math. You fight for 10 and 10. You lose. You only get 10. You pay taxes. Now you're at 7. You pay your trainer and your manager. You're left with 4, maybe 5. $4,000 for months of training. Weight cuts, brain damage. Honestly, it's literally better to beg on the street than to lose a UFC fight.
$4,000 to $5,000 for months of your life, bro. Like, I work a 9 to 5, bro. I don't get paid for none of these videos yet. I get paid more than that in a couple of months' time at least. And I'm not going through no brutal ass, painful ass training. Dana White. Yo, what the fuck, bro?
It's not just about low pay. It's about control. The UFC controls everything. Who you fight, when you fight, what you get paid, and what sponsors you're allowed to have. You want to wear your own sponsor in the cage? Nope. Only UFC-approved logos. And guess who gets the check? Not you. Remember when fighters could earn real sponsor money? 5 figures, 6 figures. Now they get a tiered bonus based on how many UFC fights they've had. And it's not just sponsors. The UFC controls pay-per-view money too. You'd think if you're a champion, you got, let's say, $2 per pay-per-view buy, and your fight sells 1 million pay-per-views, $2 million, right? Nope. Here's how it actually works. From 0 to 500,000 buys, you only get $1 per buy. From 500,000 to 750,000, you get $1.50. Only after that, from 750 to 1 million, you get $2 per buy. So instead of getting $2 million, you get $1,375,000. So even if you sell out the arena, you're still getting scaled percentages like it's a phone data plan. And here's the thing, you can't complain, you can't speak out, because if you do,
Who was that?
you might never get booked again.
Somebody in the comments help me out, or if anybody don't help me out, I just want to know. Who was that? That got blackballed? Come on, Dana White. Come on, bro. God damn, buddy. Businesses out in the world, man. These businesses out in the world really just... I don't know if I'm really trying to blame the businesses, but it seemed like they try to find every little crack. If I could be cheap and not pay you this for real, I'm a minimum wage until I can die, because I can get the most money out of it, and I'm gonna be able to buy 17 yachts and own half of the United States off my name, so I'm gonna be rich forever. My name gonna be rich forever. And I get it, because of the society that the humans and us have created with this money and stuff like that. But at the same time, bro, it's just going to be you. You know what I mean? It's just going to be you forever rich. Not all of us forever rich. Like the whole world. Honesty never in need, and honesty always happy. It's just you happy. And that bothers me personally, because yeah, I want to be forever rich and forever wealthy and well off, whatever all them words is. But I don't want to be alone too. Like, I don't want to be there by myself, and like, cause how I'm gonna be forever rich? Who am I gonna spend it with? You know, just other people that forever rich. Like, come on, bro. What about the other people that could have different ideas that can help the world in different ways? Yes, it's gonna be good and bad in them situations, but you know, we gotta cross them roads when we get to them. But you know, at least them roads will get crossed. Them roads will be possibilities, not people just continuously having generations of bad luck and just be in poverty, bro. That's generations. That's insane, bro. When there's generations out here that never been poverty, that right there, in one generation that's forever been poor, and another generation that's never ever been poor. That right there is a problem. I feel like, why is that not a problem for everybody? Why has it got to be a side? Like, I never really got that, man. I'm not going to get too much bad into that, but I never really got that.
This isn't just about fighter pay, or sponsorships, or contracts. It's about how the business is structured. The UFC isn't just a fight promotion. It's the center of the MMA world. Now, if you want to be seen as the best, you fight in the UFC. Simple as that. The UFC decides who gets signed, who gets pushed, who gets paid. You don't negotiate like a free agent. You accept what's on the table, or you don't fight. And most fighters can't afford to walk away, because there's nowhere else to go. That's just what happens when one company...
I say this about 2K all the time. And this year, 2025, I'm going to stop playing this shit. Like, I'm not going to buy 2K for this year. I hope I'm not going to buy it. But I'm trying not to, you motherfuckers. I know everybody always says it, but this exact thing where you're the only company and 2K is the only basketball company. It's a wrap, bro. They get to do and say anything. They get to put out whatever. And they gonna always meet their quota, or even go past their quota, or even lower, because they're the only basketball game.
It becomes the market. The UFC built that dominance. They earned it, but it also means they don't have to share much.
Today, I'm working with Topps and giving away a prize pack of trading cards worth over $5,000.
Maybe this is just how the fight business works.
If you don't like it, there's a simple solution to this problem. Go start your own MMA organization. No barrier to entry. Knock yourself out. Pay them whatever you want to pay them.
But if you're a fighter entering that system, you should know exactly what you're signing up for.
See what I mean? Exactly what I'm talking about. You see what he just said? Good video, MMA Explained. Great video, man. That got me onto a lot of more other subjects that I kind of wanted to. There's a lot been on my mind about, and I'm probably not going to make videos about it because they don't need my energy. Like, I don't want to put my energy in that shit. Honestly, because it frustrates me. So fuck 2K. And apparently fuck Dana White at least. Goddamn, what the fuck, Dana? Pay these people, bro. They getting their faces punched in. Fucking pay these people, bro. I'm out, man. Peace.